Zote in Tanzania ambao wanai do it right now. That is the spirit that we bring to this house because this Pan-African needs to do. Kwa hivyo kama kuna mtu anajua East African anthem, atu join hapa. If not, takuonyesha bali tai Google, sio? But we love Jumuiya. Kenya anthem. Okay, Max. Hey, Mungu nguvu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, akiwe ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na undugu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi. Una hiyo? We could go on, but time was up.
Thank you very much. Kindly take your seats. Shariki zeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu, jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Asanteni sana. Let's take our seats. Once again, I take this opportunity to welcome you to this National People's Convention agenda setting for taking the
Thank you.
I'll just ask you with a lot of humility to be on your feet. Haya, simama kidogo, usione vibaya. Mwambie mwenzako, mwambie, not us, then who? And if not now, then when? Si ndio? Haya, akwambie yeye ni nani, anataka nini hapa, amekuja nini. Dakika moja tu, alafu nitatia nyinyi wote mtamuintroduce mwenzako in 2 seconds. Hatuwezi kuwa tunakaa hatujuani. Haya, nafikiri tumemaliza. Kama tumejuana, mkae chini. Kama umemaliza, kaa chini. Ukimaliza, kaa chini. Okay, let's not have a way that we are doing this like it's a classroom, so anyone can start who is confident to tell us about their friend in a second. Is it much to ask? We are saying we are moving from silence to solidarity. We want to move from silence to solidarity, from frustration to action. Sindio? From despair to dignity. Sio maneno ya we are saying we are a house of lamentations. Hapa njua tunakwenda wapi, tuko wapi, tunaishia wapi. Maneno ya malalamishi tunaanza leo, kesho. Naona wenzangu wako hapa. Tumesema hayo tunaitupilia mbali. Haya, nani wa kwanza? Kuona mkono wako, hebu simama. Feel free to speak either English or Swahili. They are both our languages. Now, okay.
Wakenya wenzangu hamjambo. My name is Getao Mwangi, and I've met a friend here by the name Kevin. Amekuja to revolutionize. Amekuja because these are the times and we are the people who are going to liberate this country. Sindio? So hiyo ndo ameniambia, na pia anatafuta bibi.
Haya, mchumba. Kama kuna mchumba, endelea kaka. Just let's do fast.
People's power. Shamir, nimepata marafiki hapa. Mimi mwenyewe nilikuja bibi, nimepata. Anaitwa Brenda from Eldoret. I've also met a friend, Gitau, from Nairobi, Mercy, Kakamega, Tina, from Mombasa, Salim, from Kwale. Those are my friends. Thank you.
Aya, you have to be very fast. Very, very fast, very, very fast.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So the beautiful lady on my left, her name is Molin Ann from Busia. Na ni katibu mwandamizi katika chama cha Osla cha ni chama students university chuo kikuu, students wa chuo kikuu. Naam. She's an advocate, and amekuja hapa ku, you know, make her voice, make her, jamani, kizungu inapotea. Amekuja ndo sauti iweze kusikika siku ya leo. Nashukuru.
Haya, asante. Hebu kwanza, kabla hatujaendelea, ningetaka kwa heshima na taadhima na kwa moyo wangu wa dhati kumkaribisha mwanaharakati mama yetu ambaye anatetea kwa mbwembwe. Hebu tumkaribishe mama. Tunamjua hatumjui? Tunamanya hatumanyi? Tunamtambua hatumtambui? Ametupigania, ana usemi, hana usemi. Viva Martha Karua, viva! Karibu sana. Ningeomba tuendelee, lakini sasa kwa sababu ya wakati na ameingia ni wetu mashuhuri, ningependa tu labda niseme, hebu watu wa kutoka Kwale simameni mahali mlipo. Kwale mpo? Makofi kwa Kwale. Mombasa mpo? Mombasa simameni tuwaone. Bonde la Ufa mpo? Eldoret mpo? Haya, Western mpo? Mpo? Nitataja tu kwa regions za zamani sababu siwezi kutaja kaunti zote 47. Nani mwingine sijataja? Mlimani mpo? Very good. Nairobi je? Mpo kweli nyie? Naona ni kama labda hamkunywa chai kama ni nini bana. Mpo kweli? Sasa, let me say this. You know, when you are silent as a person, we don't make a difference, isn't it? We have to speak. I told you, if not now, then if not you, then who? So never look at somebody else. Look at yourself, because it's with you as a person. And right now, when we want to talk about issues like this, we need to come together and we need to rally in solidarity. Are we together? In solidarity. So just to start us rolling, I want us to have this rallying call. And I know that we are people who understand and we are people who know what we want, isn't it? So can we just stand and do this so that we start our program immediately? Karibu sana ndugu yangu Kawive. All right. Viva Inuka, viva. Viva. Viva Kenyans, viva. Viva. Viva our lady Kakarua, viva. Viva. Viva our constitution, viva. Viva. Down with all atrocities, down. Chini na kunyanyaswa chini. Chini na kudanganywa chini. Chini na ofisi chini. Mbele na maendeleo mbele. Mbele na kukubaliana mbele. Chini na ukabila chini. Chini na kunyanyaswa chini. Chini na mauaji chini. Mbele Kenya mbele. Mbele Kenya mbele. Viva Kenyans, viva. Viva Kenyans, viva. Asanteni, kaeni chini. Haya, ningependa niseme hivi. I think for a long time, watu tumekuwa tukizungumza, we talk about issues, we complain and complain and complain. I told you we are moving from silence to solidarity. We are moving to make sure that we engage one another. Ukinyanyaswa katika civic space, hiyo ni kwamba wewe hauna usemi hata kidogo. Lakini sisi tumekataa, tunasema tuna usemi na tunaweza na tunaweza na tunajijua na tuko na haki. Si ndio hivyo? So I think for now I would like us to look at our history. If you forget your history, our ancestors fought for liberation, isn't it? But now we moved from fought for independence, and then we fought for liberation, and liberation to devolution. Sawa? We as Kenyans have a responsibility. And the responsibility right now, I want to give you something that we can sit and complain, but I want us to know where we are coming from. Nimechukua nafasi katembea katika vile vituo vya registration ya kura. Watu hawapo. I found a bunch of ID cards waiting to be collected. They are not collected. So we need to move from lamentation to action. We need to move to action. Show action. That's why I say, if not now, then when? If not you, then who? Isn't it? So I think without much ado, I'd like to take this time to probably invite our pastor who made sure, the people who made sure we are here today. This is a brother of mine. We've come with him from a long place. Tumefanya kazi pamoja muda mrefu na tumekuwa katika hii harakati in many issues, na nimefurahi vile leo tumekuja. Hebu tukaribishe my brother moja. Pana ile akana. Unasema tu piga tu mara moja. Sawa. Moja. Ingine. Asante.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Viva, comrades, viva. Sasa ni wakati wa mwamko. Kwa hivyo nikisema inuka, unasema sisi. Inuka. Hello. Inuka. Inuka. Though there are some people who think that they own, or who behave as if they own Kenya. But Kenya is our country. We are here, we are not going anywhere. The call has been, can these people recognize that Kenya Ni Sisi? Sio wow. So allow me first to appreciate the presence of Honorable Mother Karua. Mpigie Mother Karua makofi. Kwa nini? From 1992, when Mother Karua went to the halls of justice to seek the release of political prisoners and walked the path seeking democracy until now, there is only one defining characteristics of Mother: consistency, focus, dedication to the struggle for freedom and democracy in this country. Ni vigumu sana mtu kukaa 92 mpaka sasa ni miaka ngapi? Hebu count. She was a lawyer before then, but when she started the journey was actually 91, 92, thereabouts. Until now, if you 89. 9 hapo. When this fellow called Moi was making sure that everybody who spoke, who had a voice, who was dedicated, who was focused on democratizing the country, was either arrested, annihilated, or disappeared. Mother went out to the streets, went out to the courts, went to around the country to seek and fight for democracy. So we thank you, and we are happy that you accepted to come and be with us today. But all of us, you know, in my language, we say that whatever time you wake up, that is the earliest that you could make it. So even if you were born yesterday, if you were born when Mother Karua was 20 years in the streets, that is the time that you focus on. Last year and this year, our young people, the Gen Z, most of whom are here, did something that maybe was only done last in 1989, 1990, and 1997, which was out there and tell everybody, this is our country. We don't want to be burdened by oppression. We don't want you to take over the country from us. And we celebrate the Gen Zs. And we celebrate every one of us who has come out to say, this country belongs to us. So, why are we here today? I have been told what to say. So let me say what I was told to say, and then I say what I want to say. You know, sometimes when you have, we have people who tell you what to say, you don't disagree a lot. This is a convening which is a second in a schedule of many convenings. The first convening happened with the youth convening, saying that we must mainstream voices of young people in the governance of this country. That's the convening that happened in August. And what young people said, they developed a paper, sort of a position paper, saying this country must be let to go to the dogs, must be let to be governed or to be led by people who do not have the interests of Kenyans at heart. I mean, a person who signs 8 legislations into law in the morning when everybody cannot think, everybody is mourning, everybody is stuck with the pain of losing Baba. Is that a person that we want to lead this country? Hello? Legislation that say, kama wewe uko na shamba, mali uko, lazima ulipe kodi, ama usipende. And the Land Amendment Act, the Land Bill, which was now an act. A person who says, if you have a and you take a photo of Mother Karua, you say, Mother Karua graced this occasion, then you should be taken to court and for saying Mother Karua was in this meeting. I have not oversimplified that, saying that you cannot have the freedom to express yourself. A person signed that into. Is that a person that we want to lead this country? If we want to liberate ourselves, we must, of necessity, agree that we must fight for the freedom. We must dedicate our lives to the fight. And fighting here means everything that you can do to make sure that we secure the freedom of all people, the weak, the strong, but all of us who are Kenyans. We are in a region where we have problems. Look at Tanzania. You know, who would have thought that Tanzanian youth would wake up and go to the streets to say no to mama? Did you ever think about it? We are in the neighborhood of that country. We are in the neighborhood of, is it 81 or 92? Who is 92, Biya or Museveni? So Museveni, how many? Who wants to run another? So, like Museveni has been doing, he has been against himself. Sulu is running against herself. So in this country, we are saying that we do not want anybody to decimate opposition leaders. We don't want anybody to opt and to kill the power of the struggle for alternative voices. Because that is the only way that we have this country, our Kenya, become an example, an exemplar nation on democracy and governance. To what I want to say, that we have a responsibility. We are unfortunate because we keep on getting divided. We keep on shifting our agenda. We keep on not focusing on the things that are important to us. We keep on saying that there's a constitutional provision that once sovereignty is ours. Then when it comes to exercising that sovereignty, we do not focus on its exercise. But we have a role, we have a responsibility, all of us who are to decide what are we going to do about the elections. Sunguoyo told me that he wants to be president. The other one is Mwangi, Boniface Mwangi, said that he wants to be president. Honorable, when I say this and I be understood well, please understand me well. If or because the Mio had won the elections last time, if that elections were not stolen, Mother Kadrua, they would be the president of this country. Mpigieni makofi. And the ascendancy to power of people who are pro-democracy, who are pro-good governance, who are pro-people, is the only thing that can save us as a nation. And the people who are coming up, I'm saying, if you come from a ward, which ward is this? Limuru ward. Okay? Kabuku ward. And you are a young person, and you are focused on democracy, you are focused on the fight for good governance, go get that seat. Hiyo ni mzuri ama si mzuri? People in leadership, in governance, have got the focus of the people in this country. We have to demonetize politics. We have to say that you can become a political leader without having stolen billions. Stealing billions to buy leadership. We have to demonetize politics. We have to say this is, and mobilize each other, mobilize people to say that we can change this country without necessarily having to steal billions and millions of shillings to get into positions of leadership. Leadership must be based on Utu. It must be based on pro-people legislation and focus. And that's why we convene here today to say, how do we take our country back? How do we take our country back from the thieves who have closed the path, the who have prevented our people from to power, the thieves who have stolen our humanity, who have stolen our livelihoods, who have stolen our ability to focus on what is good for this country. That's the purpose why we are here. A national convention defines the direction of this country. How does this country continue to exist in a way that helps us as people mobilize, as people grow, as people love each other, as people dedicate our lives and our actions to positive lives, to positive actions, to positive even legislation, everything that is positive for this country. So I want to thank you all and to welcome all of you to this meeting, and to say that as Inuka we are focused, we are dedicated to ensuring that Kenyans across board, everywhere in the country, have reason to smile, have reason to be happy because of the things that are being done by themselves, their leaders, and their communities. We do not want to pay SHA and not be treated in hospitals. We do not want to pay for houses which nobody lives in. Houses that are being developed by private developers and being sold to Kenyans who are contributing money to do those houses. We do not want to have a country where our leaders talk down at us instead of having a conversation with us. We want to live in a country where freedom is not free. We don't want to live in a country where our leaders are using our money to buy guns and weapons to kill our children. That's not a country to live in. We want to live in a country where we wake up in the morning and have food to eat, have access to go back to sleep, have the ability to have no more conversation with human beings, fellow human beings, a place where you don't wake up annoyed and go back to sleep annoyed. It is the simple things in life that make sense to, and that's the country that we are dedicated to. Viva, comrades, viva. Viva, comrades, viva. Inuka. 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 Thank you very much. Allow me to give you, or you want me to? Sorry? No, finished. So I give back to my sister to lead us forward. We have a responsibility to make Kenya a better place, to make Kenya a country that anybody can envy and want to come and live in. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Viva, Comrade Kawive, viva. Remembers the History remembers the brave. It does not remember the indifferent. That's what Kawive is saying. We know we have a history and we need to remember what we want to be remembered for. You choose conscience over convenience. Some of us choose convenience over conscience. You have to choose conscience over convenience. And sometimes it's a difficult line to It's a difficult choice to make, but that's what needs to be. I told you from morning, we want to look at how we move from lamentations to positive action and what we want to do. And I remember I told you, if not now, umesahau? Not now? If not you, are we together? Kama sio wewe ni nani mwingine? Kwa hivyo, bila kupoteza nafasi na bila kuongea mengi, najua kwa hamu na gamu mnataka msikize kutoka kwa mgeni wetu wa leo. Ambaye sisi wote tunamfahamu, ambaye tunajua historia yake. You know, there are some people you don't need to introduce. The name or the image introduces themselves, isn't it? Kwa hivyo wote naelewa, naona hapa tuko mix and match. Tuko Gen Zs, tuko millennials, tuko Gen X, tuko wote. Na hiyo ni alafu tuko counties zote kutoka Kenya, sio? Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kwa heshima na taadhima, kwa moyo wangu wa dhati, ningependa tumkaribie mama yetu mpendwa, mama ambaye tunaheshimu, amepigania haki, hana uoga, hana kurudi nyuma, ni mtu wa kusonga mbele, ni mtu anapenda watu. Hebu kwa mbwembe mkaribishe maua hivi. Shujaa. Ni shujaa. Ni shujaa. Ndio maana tunasema shujaa. Ndio maana tunasema ni shujaa.
Asanteni sana. Good morning everyone. The organizers of the meeting, Inuka, presented by Kawire and others, na wale wote tumealikwa na mmeweza kufika. This is a great morning that we gather here to discuss about our nation. It is an honor and privilege to have been invited to conference. And, I'll say, comrades, friends, and patriots in the struggle, I stand before you today, deeply honored to speak at this National People's Convention, a gathering of conscience, courage, and conviction. We are here not as spectators of history, but as its authors. We meet at a time when our country stands on the edge of moral collapse, but also on the threshold of renewal. Our presence here in itself is a declaration that Kenya belongs to her people, not to the powerful. And that's why I like ulizwa Inuka. Yes, we are not spectators, we are leaders. Our presence is a declaration that Kenya belongs not to the powerful, that truth, justice, and integrity still matter. And that even when hope seems to dim, the Kenyan spirit never dies. It's right to organize. The theme is reclaiming Kenya's soul. This theme invites us to look inward, both as a nation and as individuals. As a nation's soul. In my view, it is the sum of its values, its moral compass, its respect for truth, and its fidelity to justice. And if you ask about our values, we codified them. They are in Article 10 of our Constitution. So Article 10 is part of the soul of our nation. In 2010, when Kenyans overwhelmingly voted for a constitution, we made a covenant with ourselves, not with politicians, but with each other. We promised to govern ourselves by the principles of accountability, participation, inclusion, human dignity, and the rule of law, among others. 15 years later, that covenant lies wounded. We have witnessed the capture of institutions meant to serve us, the weaponization of law, silent dissent. You remember those terrorism charges against people who went out to express themselves, and the betrayal of our collective dream by those who swore to protect it. Across the land, the people are speaking again. They are saying enough. Enough of impunity, enough of corruption, enough of contempt for citizens' voices, enough of contempt of our human rights and our humanity. Enough of leaders who see power not as stewardship, but as spoils. To reclaim Kenya's soul, we must begin where we lost it, in the betrayal of truth and the abandonment of principle. And I think this is where we really need to interrogate ourselves, each individually. You remember when we had a chance to elect leaders last elections, the country was like half-half. Half didn't want to hear or see evil about who they have decided to elect. You talk about yesterday, they tell you mambo ya history watcher. You see? So we knowingly, when I say we, it's still collective, because if a critical mass is going the opposite side, we have to accept is the nation going wrong. You told people are being told to examine, therefore not a protest. It is a proposition that we can govern differently, that we can live truthfully, and that we can restore public trust through integrity and courage. Courage to speak truth to power. Resistance is necessary when the law becomes an instrument of oppression. Renewal is what gives meaning. Renewal means building again from we lost it. A republic founded on justice, equity, equality, and shared prosperity. Today, you feel any shared prosperity? When you cannot access basic needs like health, education, security, even if we don't go to that. When you can't access that, where is the shared prosperity? The gender movement reminded us of something we had forgotten, that people are not powerless. I remember in 2023, during the Azimio demonstrations, we were invoking Article 1 and saying we're sovereign, but it had not sunk. It really sank with the ANC movement. That is when people actually appreciated the meaning of Article 1 and saw people expressing their power. Citizens armed with nothing but truth and conviction can confront tyranny and expose its weakness. They reminded us that the Constitution was not meant to placency and judicial intimidation. We have seen use of law, the lawfare time, through the Cybercrimes Act, the Privatization Act, and the weaponization of public order laws. I was already reminding you of the terrorism charges. The Privatization Act is meant to legitimize theft of our prime parastatals, sale without accountability, probably to themselves or to their families. So legitimizing crime through legislation. And legislation cannot be greater than the Constitution, which calls for accountability, transparency. The Privatization Act takes us back to opaqueness. The Cybercrimes Act seals our mouths. Someone in the executive will be deciding whether your actions are lawful. Privacy is guaranteed by the Constitution on Article 31. But if you are in a public space, like in a court of law, public trial, so picture taken, even your voice taped, can be posted because the trial is public. But now they want to define those things in the law, define it contrary to the Constitution, after the crackdown we have seen on young people, which has included extrajudicial killings, abduction and torture, and law against young people, mainly. So now this is being codified so that when you go before a magistrate, they feel they have no discretion. Thank God this is being fought in the courts of law. This is not democracy, it is autocratic domination dressed in legal language. But let us be clear, authoritarianism can never be legislated into legitimacy. It will remain legitimate. A government that fears its people has already lost its moral authority. The Constitution of Kenya, 2010, begins with these sacred words: all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance with this Constitution. We can exercise that sovereign will either directly or through our elected representatives. And even when we elect, we never lose that sovereign power. The residual power remains with us. So even when you have elected representatives, you continue to have the agency to directly exercise your power. No law, no decree, no intimidation can erase that truth. So we must maintain truth-telling and call for accountability. Renewal requires truth, and truth requires courage. We must speak honestly about what happened in June of 2021. The abductions, the killings, the disappearances. the terror unleashed upon innocent youth demanding justice. Let's not forget that the pattern of things as a response to demonstrations started in 2023 during the Azimio demonstrations. The state organized goons to destroy and blame on demonstrators. The Gen Z protests, the difference was that the Gen Z protests exposed this hypocrisy, especially so because those Gen Z protests are so well organized, letting the peaceful and patriotic nature of the protests shine. You remember the youth carrying flags for patriotic handkerchiefs and nothing on their hands but water and their mobile phones. So it was so clear that these were peaceful protests. May I say they were the best organized protests I've seen in this country. The articulation of issues was also the best. You never went to rallies, stood on a, but on social media, the demands were clear and unequivocal. Transparency and accountability, and no to oppressive and exploitative taxation. You know, it's quite clear. Clear demands were articulated on social media, as I've said. There was no excuse whatsoever to start brutalizing the Gen Z. Even on the day they did it, when when the Gen Z reached Parliament, I believe that goons hired by the state are the ones who destroyed Parliament. Where they showed young people were just amazed to Parliament. Some saying, Mr. Speaker, sir, that doesn't destroy anything. Others were to the food was served. If they ate it, it's their food. It's your taxpayer food. Nothing wrong, you see. Entering Parliament is entering a house you pay for. It's entering your premises. It's exercising sovereign power. But because the state has decided that organized goons and militias are a response to legitimate protests, they needed an excuse to kill, to intimidate, and stop the protests. And this is where the character came out completely. And from then, the commemoration of June 25 has seen more killing, and this time, rungu-wielding goons with freshly minted rungus walking alongside police. We also saw it on Sabasaba. So the Gen Z, the thuggery of the state, become apparent to everyone. This convention, first of all, let me say this. We must name the, we must remember their faces, we must prioritize their deaths with bureaucratic silence. We must keep lighting candles and honoring them until we get justice. And even then, we will continue remembering them as people who are fighting for the freedoms we so cherish. Therefore, healing cannot come without accountability. Reconciliation cannot come without justice, and there can never be peace built on denial. This convention must call for a national truth forum on state violence, a people-driven process to document, expose, and demand justice for every citizen whose rights have been violated in the struggle for freedom. Building a people movement, the political opposition, which I belong to, has been largely compromised. It's now in the process of reorganizing and regrouping. Parliament has surrendered its oversight role. The executive governs through fear. That is why we must now organize as a collective of citizens. No one category of whether political class or any other can suffice. It is all Kenyans of goodwill together. Ni Sisi National Movement must become the next phase of our civic education and organizing, an intergenerational platform for democratic renewal, uniting youth, women, workers, faith leaders, professionals, and all people of goodwill under a single purpose, to reclaim people's power. Our mission must be to institutionalize citizen vigilance. We must monitor government budget, expose corruption, demand service delivery, and use the Constitution not as a decoration, but a weapon of accountability. Democracy dies in silence. It revives in solidarity, and we are here to show that solidarity. Out of this convention, let us birth, and it is envisaged in the consent paper, let us birth a People's Charter for Democratic Renewal, a living document that captures our shared demands and our collective vision or aspirations, if you may. Let the Charter affirm value-based leadership for all our institutions. Remember, institutions are as good as people who man them, or shall I say woman them. Because even if the Constitution says a judicial officer is independent, if that judicial officer has no courage to speak truth to power, they will behave as though there is no such one in the Constitution. It is our duty, therefore, not just to insulate, to talk of insulating the judiciary from political manipulation. The best insulation is to have a clean process of recruiting judicial officers and recruiting officers for every institution. Because in Kenya, we have learned how to manipulate processes and get outcomes that were never encouraged by the Constitution. We don't always get the best. Sometimes we deliberately go for the worst possible. And you know what I mean. We have seen interviews that give us the worst not the best. So we have to rethink all these things. How can we renew? And it's not just about the judiciary. Look at Parliament. Whom have we elected? We have lost the institution that is the watchdog that is supposed to give us accountability. Even when the regime is bad, even just 10 voices can change the character of Parliament. You know, we have some very outspoken parliamentarians, but the trick is for those outspoken to make sure whenever there is a bill that affects the people or a policy being debated, even if you have a lucrative trip abroad, lucrative because of the marupurupu, get the marupurupu, you have a salary, stay in Parliament. Let us start single voice opposing. Let it go on record. We will be checking to see was there opposition to the cybercrime. Was there opposition to the Privatization Act? Was there opposition to all those oppressive laws? Failing to be in Parliament when you are needed. If you are not sick, it's actually a crime against the people who elected you. It's a betrayal. We will begin to call for accountability by those in offices. And I want to say, I'm not calling something I didn't do. It's in Parliament. If there was something of national importance, if I was abroad to cut the trip to rush to Parliament, if I was anywhere else, even when I was campaigning for presidency, I would stop the campaign and attend the proceedings. Because what is my primary duty that entitles me to be called honorable so-and-so? Which honor belongs to the people? Is legislation, oversight, and representation. If I'm absent, then I'm not fulfilling. So we are saying accountability. We will start looking for it now, not. And we must check and say whether there was opposition. We must name. If there are people who contributed, let us commend them to encourage others to follow suit. If there is none, including those who belong to the opposition, we must call them out because they have failed us. Those who belong to the ruling side, we must also call them out because they are not elected to represent the executive. They actually represent the people, not the executive. Now, let the new People's Charter become our new civic compass. And that charter must make demands on elected leadership, whether in the county or in the National Assembly. A reminder that power without people is tyranny, and politics without reality is treason against the Republic. Every generation faces a moral question that defines its destiny. This generation, the question is this: will we continue to live as subjects of impunity, or will we stand up as citizens of a republic governed by law? I believe we are here because we insist that we are under a constitution, a covenant that we made for ourselves. We are insisting it must be followed. Each of us must choose. I believe by being here, we've already chosen the side. The Greeks taught us that society is destroyed not only by bad leaders, but by good people who choose to remain silent or indifferent. Silence is surrender. Silence is also betrayal. The time for being spectators is over. The time for citizens' leadership has come. We must take up our civic duty. My Nigerian friend, Obi Ezekwesili, has created, or rather brought up, the office of citizen. She has not created it because it exists. You perform your civic duty in your office as a citizen. So your agency as a citizen is actually a space recognized by the Constitution. Therefore, she equates it to an office and talks of office of the citizen. So the time for us to take up that office individually is there. I therefore stand here before you, not in despair, but in hope. Hope because I have seen Kenyans rise again and again. From the ashes of repression, from the roots of corruption, from the despair and betrayal, Kenyans still choose to fight for a better nation. And I know that's why you're here. Hope because our young people are awake, fearless, creative, largely uncompromised. Hope because civil society lives again. And today, this is an example. Hope because truth, though bad, never dies. It will always out. This movement, our movement, is not about personalities. It is about principles. It's not about power for its own sake. It's about restoring moral order. Our task is not to destroy the republic. It is to redeem it. Our goal is not to place rulers. It is to awaken citizens and servant leadership. In conclusion, comrades, the path before us will not be easy. Those who profit from injustice will violently resist, and resist violently. They will call us radicals, dreamers, and even enemies of the state. But history has already taken its side, and it is not with those who cling to power through fear and through enemies. Let us therefore rise with courage, speak with unity of purpose, and act with conviction. Let this National People's Convention mark the rebirth of civic power in Kenya. Let us reclaim the promise of our Constitution, not as a memory, but a mission that guides us. And when history of this moment is written, may it be said of us that we refused to be silent. Silence was betrayal. That we organized when fear said, wait. That we chose the hard path of truth over the easy comfort of complicity. For Kenya's soul is not lost. It is waiting to be reclaimed by her people. Her people, you and me. God bless you. God bless our Republic, Kenya. And God guide us and give us that courage. Each one of us is endowed with courage. Don't listen to the naysayers who tell you it's dangerous. We must do what is right with courage. And like I say, even if you hide under your bed, a bullet may still find you there. You remember Bridget? Yes. She was in the house. If you're doing what is right, go forth and do it with courage. Asanteni sana.
Viva Martha, viva! Viva Martha, viva! Viva Martha, viva Martha, viva Martha, viva Martha, viva Martha, viva! Asante sana. I think there's 3 things and quite a lot that we take home. That was a very powerful speech, and I think there is so much. It is loaded. It is given a very good way forward for this charter and for this movement. It has opened eyes in many places where we thought we understood. But this is, when we talk about civic courage, I don't know whether you remember, this is a lady with courage. In all regimes, she has shown courage. Even if you're her best friend, but the minute you cross the line, she leaves you there and she walks. So you need to know when to step. You just must know when to step. And that is not for the fearless. I mean, for the fearful. It's for the fearless. And she has said, I said in the morning, we are not going to be here in lamentations. She has said it's from protest to purpose. From outrage to organization, isn't it? And from resistance to renewal. Isn't it? And renewal means rebuilding. And let me tell you, that is how you move on. And right now, there's a lot you can do with organization and renewal. Just need to be focused and know exactly what we want and how we want to do it. Cindy, I think you have earned yours. So let's give her another round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Now, I think you have earned yourself a cup of tea. And I think these curtains on this side will be opened, and you will use the doors on this side. We'll take around 15 minutes for the tea break, and then we come back and we'll tell you the way forward. So can we have somebody please direct us on... Yes. Last door, the last window, please just use those, that last window. It's open, and just go. The tea is served right outside here. And after that, we can come back, convene back at... Oh, you're going to be our chief whip. What's your name? Okay. Okay, you'll be our chief whip. It's 10:45. Can we be back by 11 on the dot? Is that okay? Asanteni.